Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. And I'm very delighted to have Emma Melanofi with us today because we will have a very interesting session. It's on energy healing. And Emma is a Reiki healer and master. So I think she is the best person to carry on today's session, and we will learn a lot from her. So I will not keep you wait anymore. So, Emma, could you please give a short introduction for our new audience?
Yes, thank you, Tanvir. My name's Emma Valanafi, and I'm a Reiki master teacher and a practitioner for humans and animals, and also a Shiatsu student practitioner. And that's also a form of energy work, using it's a different form of energy work. So yeah, I just get really geeky about all things energy work and healing and complementary therapies and things like that. So um, yeah, I'm really looking forward to today's conversation, Tanvir.
Thanks, Emma. So let's go directly to the question.
Yeah, good idea.
So our first question is a very popular one. People are very curious to know about what is chakras and where have they originated and how many chakras do we have in our body or out of the body.
Yeah. So, from my perspective, as I understand it, the word chakra means wheel, and it's because the idea of chakras being um, in the body and out of the body, and it's a way that energy can flow into and out of the body. And when they're spinning well and they're clear, then energy is flowing freely and there are no blocks, and that makes for a healthy energetic system. And as I understand it, chakras, each of them relates to a different layer of the auric field as well. So the higher up you get, the further out of the body the chakra connects to. Um, so chakras, I believe, come from the Indian system of energy work, and they became very, very popular in the West in about the 1800s with a movement called Theosophy, which was created by a lady called Madame Blavatsky. And Theosophy was all about finding universality in all the kind of energy work and spiritual systems of the world and finding the common truths that exist at all in the heart of all of them and kind of interlinking and interweaving them all. Now, her movement was not without controversy, and I feel like it's had a really positive effect in many ways. I wouldn't necessarily subscribe to all of the aspects of what she put forward, but it certainly broke a lot of new ground and it spread the word and also brought Eastern teachings into a more Western context because she had people who she made connections between holy people and spiritual teachers in the East and also her followers from the West. So she kind of was a bit of a bridge between the two. And that is the reason that we have chakras in the West and that the fact that they're so very popular. Um, just to mention that actually chakras and meridians, the chakra and meridian systems do interlink and work together. They're not the same thing. But I've had it very beautifully described by a shiatsu practitioner and teacher of many years who's very, very well respected in the world of energy work called Cliff Andrews, who is one of the Shiatsu College's teachers and also runs New Energy Work, which is an online resource. Really, really interesting and a wealth of information there. But he has a video, which is, I believe, on YouTube as well, which is showing him giving a treatment to somebody using the chakras and the meridian system. And he describes and explains it as being the chakras seem to act as a gateway or a portal to the meridian system above it in the body. So there are ways to work with both. Not very many people do, I have to say, although I do in my own work. But that there are different ways to approach chakras, and it's a very it can be seen as quite a simple and approachable and universal system to begin with. So the chakras in the body are starting at the base, the root chakra. Then you have the sacral chakra and the lower abdomen, and this corresponds with the lower Dharna in traditional Chinese medicine. Then you've got the solar plexus chakra, which is around the bottom of the ribs and the top of the abdomen, so the kind of stomach area. Then you have the heart chakra, which is a very big gateway and energy center in probably every single energy work system which is out there. Then you've got yes. Then you've got the throat chakra, and I always see this as being a bit of a gateway between the heart and the head. So when that's blocked, maybe you're listening to the monkey chatter and not connecting with your heart's wisdom and knowledge. But anyway, I'm getting into the detail there. Then you've got the third eye chakra, and that relates strongly to the pineal gland and to true perception. Then you've got the crown chakra, which is your connection to the divine and to the kind of the etheric plane and guidance. And that also connects directly, if you're looking at other chakras, because there are minor chakras, certainly in the world of animal energy work, there are bud chakras and minor chakras. And these also exist for humans as well. So we have chakras in our palms, and these are made use of by healers a lot. And you might find sometimes your palms are feeling quite hot. That might be because you need to heal yourself or need healing, or somebody around you needs that. You've got your foot chakras, so kind of the bottoms of your feet. And when these are opened as part of an energy work treatment, you can release all that baggage, all that emotional, energetic baggage and blocks through the body, down out of the feet, nice and safely. You've also got the Earth Star chakra, I believe, which is under the ground, and that connects you and roots you to the earth. Then you've got the Soul Star chakra. And when you're feeling quite sort of low and disconnected and bad about yourself and not connected with your higher purpose, that can be kind of a bit closer to you than is ideal. So as part of an energy work treatment, you might find somebody kind of gives it a bit of energetic boost, clears it, empowers it, and moves it to its ideal position, which is probably about a foot over the head or more. And I believe there are other chakras as well outside of the body and probably in the body as well. Animals have a brachial chakra, which is around this kind of area. And if you think about it, dogs and cats, if we're going to meet them and stroke them, we might be drawn to put our hand kind of just at the base of the neck, at the top of the back, to say hello and introduce ourselves. And that's where the brachial chakra is. And many people who work with animals will start a treatment there. So yes, that's my, in a nutshell, my understanding of chakras.
Yeah, thanks, Ima. You have explained it very beautifully. I just want to add few more things, like what I have came to know. So far, there are around 114 chakras for human bodies. So the thing is, the major 7 chakras, which we generally talk about, and you explained, which we need to focus on more to balance ourselves. But apart from that 7 chakras, there are outer chakras from our body, as you have Star chakra, and there are 3 most chakras above us, and there are minor chakras as well. So yeah, definitely those chakras are also important. But when people get distuned, so that means those major chakras are somehow imbalanced. And I have a question around these chakras. So could you please explain about activating these chakras? Nowadays, we can find in the YouTube that generally people go for active your throat chakra, heart chakra, or these sort of things. So does that mean it was inactive before, or we need to activate forcefully or something? What's your thought on that?
So my thoughts on that, Tanvir, are that chakras become activated on their own. The more spiritual you get, the more you're balancing your chakras, the more you're giving yourself what you need and tuning into your body and your energy, you will naturally become more balanced and more connected and aware of your chakras. And I feel like there are things that you can do which are more specific when you are on your spiritual path, and say you're meditating, and maybe you're using sound healing at different frequencies for the different chakras to tune into them and to feel their energy and become aware of that. It's a good thing to explore. I feel like it's I don't know, maybe because I'm a little bit more drawn to the kind of the Japanese and the Chinese system as well. I feel like there is a lot of emphasis given to the chakras where it could be given elsewhere. Tanvir, was there something you wanted?
Yeah. So as per my understandings, the thing is, when people borns, that means that baby already have his or her own chakras, which is already activated. But the thing with the growing age, we forget how to get aware about our body, about our surroundings. And that moment, we are getting also imbalanced through our chakra. I mean, it started to get imbalanced. But what people are saying about activating right nowadays, as per my understanding, it is like you are putting your focus on those chakra. And as we know, where attention goes, energy flows. So,
Yes.
so that thing is like you are focusing on your root chakras or sacral chakras, and when your attention goes there, those energy is getting balanced where it should be, and eventually, when all of our chakras are balanced, then we can find the harmony.
Yeah.
So, so the thing is, chakra is already balanced. It's not like it was not active or it is just stuck or something like that. It's not like that. The thing is, it might be stagnant or it is not balanced. But our purpose or our focus should be on how to balance those chakras.
I completely agree, Tanvir, and that's really, really beautifully put. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like there's no kind of magic wand. There's no amazing The third eye is fantastic, but if you only focus on your third eye and not on anywhere else, you're not really going to get anywhere. You're going to end up with more problems. It's about moderation. It's about the holistic approach, really, I think. When you're lovely and balanced, that's when you can focus on the higher chakras if you wish to have certain effects. But it's not something you can just jump into and have have fixed for you. It's more about being able to connect with yourself. As you said, Tanvir, it's connecting with your body, becoming aware of the chakras as part of the whole holistic being that you are, and learning, getting to know your energy system and how it integrates with your body. And that's more important, really. People get very hung up on the idea of raising your vibrations, and that's a lovely, lovely thing, but that's more of a byproduct. When you're doing the right things and you're looking after yourself, that will happen. It's not a case of you need to follow these instructions, do this, do that, and your vibrations will be raised and then you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's you're spot on. So the thing is, the one thing which you have mentioned, people are right now focusing on activating the third eye so that he or she can know everything about the universe. I mean, as per their expectations. So what my belief or the activating the heart chakra. But the thing is, if you keep focus on certain chakras, it will be more active. But the thing is, we need to focus on other chakras as well, because if the lower chakras or some other chakras are not balanced, that activated chakras is working like hyperactive, which might create imbalance. And what I have seen from my personal experience, when people are doing such type of things without balancing all of the chakras, they face some kind of emotional, mental, and physical imbalance because of the energy system is not working properly?
Yeah. I was just wanting to say, so if you think of it a bit like going to the gym. So if a person is not very strong, not very healthy, but they get by okay, they have a few little aches and pains, but they decide they want to work on themselves, on their bodies, and be a bit healthier, have a bit more energy and that sort of thing. If they go to the gym and they decide, right, so I want to be able to walk for a long distance without my legs hurting, I'm just going to work on my legs. Then their legs will start building muscle and more muscle, and the rest of their body is going to be putting all of its resource into the legs, and it's not going to be functioning, and you're going to end up with problems elsewhere in the body, extra stresses and strains being put on the body that wouldn't be put on there if you were just kind of doing little bits of exercise and maybe being a bit lazy and not going to the gym. So it's a case of, if you start working on anything, it's really important to know what you're doing and not just get a little bit of information and follow your own guidance, which is coming from here, not from experience. So yeah, it's in moderation and balance, and more of a gentle approach, I think. Not running before you can walk.
Right, spot on. Yeah. So that will lead to our next question about meridians. So what is actual meridian is? Generally, we hear about meridian when we are lowering acupressure or acupuncture. Could you please focus on that what that meridian actually is? And is it only limited into acupressure or acupuncture?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, Tanvir. So meridians are a network within the body through which chi or energy flows. Most of them are towards the near the surface of the body, so we can access them with needles or with pressure or with energy, actually. You don't actually need to, and that's leading on to the other question a little bit there. You can give hands-off treatments to the meridian system. This is because all energy is connected, so you can give distance treatments or treatments above the body using your energy and connecting them with the energy field. You can connect in with the person's energy. If you're quite advanced and you can recognize the different energies, it is possible to connect into any point of any person anywhere in the world from where you are without touching them, but it's very difficult. So the meridian system on the body gives us an easier way to connect in. It's direct. So the meridians are, as I say, they're channels. They're like rivers. They run through the body, and they run either from the head down to the arms, or from the head down to the feet, or the upper body down to the feet. So you have some that are mainly in the arms and some that are mainly in the feet, and they run down the back and the front of the body. There are meridian extensions as well, and also extraordinary vessels, which are things like the Du and Ren channels, which are both sides of the body, like dividing you in half. And actually, those channels are the most fundamental ones. Basically, that leads me into my next point. There is a theory, and it's one that I very much subscribe to, that says that the meridians form when we are forming in the womb, right at the beginning. So the Du and Ren channels are when the fertilized egg splits in half and becomes two. That's when that particular channel is formed. And then you find when the embryo is forming, certain organs will be forming next to organs that they're not next to when the body is fully formed. They will form in a certain place alongside and with another part of the body, and then move to where they're going to go as the body continues to evolve. And that's where you get resonances between different parts of the body that also connect via the channels of the meridians. So the meridian system is probably best known as being part of traditional Chinese medicine. because the earliest examples of diagrams showing the meridian system and talking about it were discovered in China. But it's interestingly, there are indications of acupressure points and meridians being tattooed onto ancient bodies that have been found, for example, in the Alps and the Tyrol. There's a man found there, a prehistoric man, who had tattooed on him acupressure points and channels that relate to the traditional Chinese medicine acupressure points. So, yeah, in a nutshell, that is what the acupressure points are. Sorry, I've not answered the questions yet around whether they can be used in other modalities, which they can. And also, so you don't just find them in acupressure and acupuncture, and they are there in the body at all times. So they are being affected by and affecting the chakra system too.
Yeah, nice.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so the thing is, I have another question. So it is related about how meridian and chakras are related, but not for today.
Yeah.
In our next session, we are going to explore that answer. Okay, viewer, stay tuned with us. We will get back soon with our all other questions regarding energy healing. Till then, stay tuned with us. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Bye.